I'm putting the glasses on because it makes me look more intelligent. See? Here's an odd change of pace for my channel. Today I'm talking about a book, and in fact I'm talking about the new 13th Doctor book, which is called The Good Doctor. So I'm not a big reader, and I don't read much, and I particularly don't enjoy it, but Doctor Who and the fact that we weren't going to get any this year kind of made me think that I should. So this book took me 8 weeks to read, and it's 230 pages long. I think it's like 20 odd chapters. Basic plot for the book is that the Doctor and friends, fam, go to a planet called Lobas, which is in a war between humans and Loba. And Loba are like tigers. Still with me? Because it gets weirder. So the Doctor leaves thinking that they've solved everything in like the first chapter, and then find out that they haven't, and they have accidentally wrote themselves into the history of the planet, making themselves a religion. It caused many changes to the world, and then the Doctor and friends need to try and change time and solve many issues throughout the book. So first I'll talk about some of the good stuff. So it has this brilliant world building. Tons of stuff. They don't go into like a massive amounts of detail, but just enough just so you understand exactly what's going on. And things like the people and the way that they are done is really, really good as well. And I feel something to each person. I feel something about each of their customs, everything they do, even the bad guys. I actually felt like I liked them, and I genuinely felt something for them throughout the book. And I really wasn't expecting to do that, and I was surprised that a book could actually make me care and want to read on about each person to see where they end up at the end of the book. As I said before, I'm not very good at reading in particular. This book is really good if you're not very good at reading, or strong at it, or anything like that. The words aren't very complicated. The complicated words that you'll get tend to be things like names, and that's about it. Nothing complicated apart from that. And the chapters are probably the best thing that I enjoyed about this book, which is terrible really, but it makes sense in my mind. So each chapter tends to be about 10 pages long. There's a few that obviously they're over, but for me these are like bite-sized chapters, and I was happy that then I could read one in, well, I'm a slow reader, that's my main problem, the fact that I can't read very fast. And if I would sit there and I could read a chapter in, let's say, half an hour, which was only like 10 pages, but I could read that. I'm not very strong. I think I'm getting better, you know, because I've been reading that one, Molten Heart, and I seem to be getting through about double that now in half an hour. So that's good. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how each chapter kind of ends on something that makes you want to read on. I felt compassionate about what was going on in the book simply because each chapter kind of had an ending, and I was like, oh no, this might happen, oh no, this could happen, and that then led me on to read the next chapter. But it doesn't have its faults. There are, I think, one fault that I could really think about that was actually worth mentioning, and that was the fault of how the book kind of goes a bit weird. There's a moment which I'm sure you'll be able to tell if you read it, but there's a moment when it just kind of goes from trying to be realistic in a real gritty world to just being weird. Now, I suppose it's a good thing that it's weird, because obviously that being on television would be really weird and kind of expensive to make and produce. So doing it in a book means that your imagination picks up for the slack of the budget, and that's a really good line. I enjoyed this book way more than I should have. It has literally forced me to go and buy the other two, and wait, the other one's there. it kind of forced me to buy the other two, and I think that's a really good thing. And so therefore I think this book is really, really good, simply because I kept reading it. Most books I just kind of give up, because I either get disinterested. Like, if you ever read the 12th Doctor book, The Blood Cell, but with this book I just felt like everything was dull, and I completely lost interest in everything. And the amount of time it took me to finish it, just to read what I was up to, was huge. Yeah, this is about the same length as The Good Doctor, and I feel like the words and the phrasing and everything like that that is in The Good Doctor really helped me read that book. Just because I was able to read it does not mean it's a bad book, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who either struggles with reading or is not just a big fan of it, because this was the first book of Doctor Who that I've read for a very long time, and I thoroughly enjoyed it throughout, and I definitely thought that it would help other people get into reading, no matter what your age was. So, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like, and I shall see you soon. Goodbye.